amigos. We are here for Hum of the Earth on a very special day, a day I've been anticipating for quite a while. We're in the city of Puerto Montt, the last city before beginning my journey bicycling through Patagonia, which is supposed to be one of the nicest places in the world. So you're in for a treat with this video. Right now it is past 1 p.m, bit of a late start, and that's because I had to put together my bicycle because I took some bus rides to get here from Tucumán in Argentina. That's because I wanted to be in Patagonia for the right time of the year, so kind of end of the summer-ish. Right now it's kind of early mid-March. And I'm super glad I did so, because it is kind of chilly and it's the afternoon right now. This morning was like actually cold, so I knew that later on in kind of April and May that it gets colder and rainier and cloudier. So colder than this would be not pleasant. So, and it's not going to get any warmer as I keep going. So really glad I moved things up a little bit. And not a cloud in sight. Should be a spectacular day. Get moving, the weather is perfect, and my bicycle, despite the being thrown around in buses, seems to be mostly perfect actually, which is good, except one little detail. The screw that is used to tighten my seat so that it doesn't slide down is stripped. So I was having some issues earlier with my seat sliding down. It's potentially still sliding down a little bit right now, but I should be able to find a ferreteria, which is Spanish for hardware store, somewhere around here, I think. Found a ferreteria. Unfortunately, they did not have the screw that I needed, but the owner and his neighbor were really nice. His neighbor even looked for the screw, found some that were really close, but no cigar. But they did invite me in for coffee and typical Chilean snack. Gracias, amigos. And I even got to try some local jam. From what I heard, it's made of fruits that only grow here in southern Chile. It was pretty good. So big thanks to those guys. And they gave me some info on where I could potentially find the right screw. But there's nobody there. Low riding. Keep the knees high, boys. So I have some regrets. So I knew this morning that there was potentially an issue with the screw in my seat, and I actually went to a bike shop because last night, in the commotion of moving my stuff to a hotel after the bus ride, I lost my bike lock. So I was actually in a bike shop where potentially they could add the right screw, and I was in a city, more importantly, where I could almost certainly find the right screw somewhere. So, bit of a mistake there, but we shall get through this. First ferry ride in Patagonia. Made it just in time. I was pretty happy that the price was only 2,900 pesos, which is a little bit more than $4 US, so still not cheap, but I'd heard that it was 10,000 for a car, so glad I didn't have to pay that. Pretty amazing. I actually saw a group of sea lions swimming earlier. I can actually see some more in the distance right there. Let's see, catch them. Pretty sweet. And I've even heard that there's dolphins around here. So I'm going to keep my eyes open. So it kind of seems like almost certainly seems like the water from the ocean makes its way here sometimes. High tide. I have no idea if it's possible that it would come all the way up here during the night tonight. It seems far away, but yeah, I don't know. But I don't really have time to find a new spot before it gets dark, so I guess I'm gonna have to chance it and hope I don't drown. And also, this is not exactly an ideal wild camping spot. I am mostly blocked from the road, but definitely not invisible. For now, he sharpens his teeth with the rock. And then when I go to sleep, he strikes. So that is about where I set up my tent last night. Wasn't able to sleep. Was thinking about and listening to the waves. And then it felt like they were getting closer and closer. Then I got out at about 2:30 and realized that the tide was quite a bit closer. More than half the land had been swallowed by the ocean. The beach, that is. So I decided to put my heavy stuff in a plastic bag, bring it up here, and then brought my tent. And yeah, I think I got maybe
2 hours of sleep at the most last night, but I didn't get super soaked. Although my tent is condensation city, especially on the inside. But could be worse. Maybe the scenery will make me forget how tired I am. So after a long day in time, but non-kilometers, I've made it to the town of Hornopiren. Took a long time because the road getting here was 80% in construction, 80% of it, so it was all gravel and rocks and mud, which is not ideal for my bicycle. Once I made it here, I found this hardware shop and I troubleshooted a solution for my seat problem. Did not have the screw that I wanted, but the nice guy who owns the shop, this is his house here, part of the shop, found an old bike and gave me this, and I retrofitted it to mine. But even at its tightest, the seat can still move a little bit when I use two hands, so not sure it'll work, but better than nothing for now until I find a permanent solution. And after kind of working together to get that done, he actually offered me to stay in his house for 10,000 pesos, which is about 12 US dollars, which is cheaper than you'll find in Patagonia. So I'll take advantage of the situation to shower and do some more research on things to do in Patagonia.
Oh boy. So I assume that there was buses or boats passing at a somewhat frequent pace here, because there's another ferry here in only Hornopiren, but it's only one per day at 10 a.m. and I missed it. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to find something else to do today. So some kind of good news. There's another boat that leaves only Hornopiren from 3 o'clock. So that's good, but it is a 4.5 hour ride, which means I would be getting in Caleta Gonzalez at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, which wouldn't leave much time to find camp, but I've accepted the challenge and purchased my boarding ticket. And we're off. Half an hour later than the expected departure, because the boat needed some repairs. Should be a nice ride. Now, and I was talking to another bicycle tourist who said there is a campground right in the first town here where apparently you can camp for free, so we shall explore that option. No boat today. So from what I had read, I was expecting a paved road here, which is definitely not. But not too upset about it. Got some decent sleep last night. Did wake up like a dozen times, but I was in bed for like almost 11 hours, so eventually added up to some decent rest. Pretty beautiful out here. And I'm glad that I didn't start from Hornopiren this morning. Life is good.
¿Ah? 4.009, pero son casas más chinas. La hueá de golosina. Pura golosina. Si es que no me gustan esas cagazos. Tengo un Super 8 de puti.
Back on pavement, baby. Rolling now. Chilean. Let's get something to eat. That was a pretty good meal. Got the tip from a local on good cheap place to eat. Always a good strategy. Or at least relatively cheap versus a tourist restaurant like the first one that I checked out that was right off the highway. Kind of knew that wasn't going to be a good value. Then I went to the supermarket, got some more food items for maybe a snack tonight, and then maybe on the road tomorrow, in between meals, fueling up. And now I'm just walking around the park because they have free Wi-Fi and I'm downloading a podcast for tomorrow and it is very slow. But I'm not complaining because it's free. So a pretty low kilometer day today, making it to town Chilean where I am right now. But I'm going to go a little bit past the town, but not too much, because in the next small settlement called Rio Negro, apparently there is a hardware store that has bicycle parts. So I don't want to pass that. I'll be checking it out tomorrow, hoping it's open. So yeah, it's not a big kilometer day because of one, majority of the road was gravel, which my skinny tires are not great for that. If I hit a big rock, I'll probably get a pitch flat in the front, and if I avoid it last second, I'll likely fall and injure myself. So two not awesome scenarios. So I don't go fast in gravel, but it seems like tomorrow should be mostly pavement. So 7:20, and as per usual, I'm a bit later than I should be to start looking for a camp spot. Which means I cannot be picky in choosing a spot, but I'm definitely not going to be camping on the beach. So far, all barbed wire. Not super inviting. There was two little openings I saw in the barbed wire, but the fact that I have barbed wire and going on the property doesn't seem like the greatest idea. So I'm going going to keep looking. At paid camping just outside of town. Looking a lot better. Not that I would go back. Just past the bike shop, or the bike mechanic's place. Seems to be his residence. So hopefully I don't have to go too much further, because I will have to backtrack all of this in the morning. The wall of barbed wire kept on going strong. I was getting further and further away from the town of Rio Negro where the bike mechanic was. So I saw this place was advertising cabins. Went in, talked to the owner, told him my situation, and got a camp spot. And I can even use the bathroom and cold shower in this cabin here. He wanted 4,000. I said 3,000. He said all right. So 3,000 is like $4.50. So not the best, but not the worst. Especially considering that I was in a bit of a jam. It will do fine. Cheers to another great day in Patagonia. By the way, if you want my opinion, this Escudo is the best cheap beer in Chile that I've tried so far. Has a lot of taste. It's cheap. This can was 600, so that's a little bit less than $1 US, and it's a big can. And it is 5.5% alcohol. Cheers. No blue skies this morning. I am a happy camper. Got my seat height back. Back to some comfortable riding. Starting to see some glaciers. Back on gravel. So I just ate and resupplied in the small town of Villa San Lucia behind me. And it's about 6 o'clock. So I'm actually starting my hunt for a camp spot at a good time today. So hopefully I find something good. So I found this little turnoff here. Seems to be public land. At least there's nothing indicating that it isn't. But it does seem like it is occasionally frequented. Seems a little too good to be true, but I just passed the little highway roadside restaurant that I want to get breakfast at tomorrow, so I didn't want to go too much further. So I think I will give it a shot. Another day in paradise. Life's good. This was my humble abode for last night. Kind of tough to get in here. Glad I didn't get a flat. There's a lot of spiky plants. I actually slept better than I've been sleeping the last few nights camping, because I've been having hip pain that wakes me up because I sleep on my side. I used to have 2 sleeping pads before. The other one was completely air filled, or you'd have to fill it with air, but I actually ditched it when I was having that spree of pinch flats in southern Colombia. I decided to get rid of it because of the extra weight. I actually figured out that I can fold my sleeping pad at the expense of not having any padding for my legs, and that seemed to help quite a bit. So got some decent rest, ready to hit the road. Ourselves a big old convoy. So in Patagonia is where I've seen by far the most bicycle tourists, but most of them are going the opposite way. I guess starting earlier in the summer and coming up north. Today, not riding solo. Guy in front of me is from China. Guy behind me from Japan. I've regained the lead. Don't think they know we're racing, but still number one. Because of the racing, I had to change, put on some sunscreen. I was overtaken. It's only a matter of time till once again the lead will be mine. Aha, they're chatting. Rookie mistake. Woo woo! Darn my skinny tires. Been overtaken in this long gravel section, close to the finish line of the port town where I'll be heading for breakfast, so it's not looking good for a victory right now. Here we are at Puerto Punctures, which means I only got second place out of 3 with 2 other people who didn't know they were racing. But still gonna celebrate with some delicious food. That was the last good meal I'm gonna have in a while, because the next town is 150 kilometers away, so I need to stock up for at least 3 meals until then. Hopefully that's enough. So I got food, water, charged my phone at the restaurant, and downloaded some podcasts at the community center. And the sun is shining, but I was not able to get sunscreen, so there's a slight chance that I might run out tomorrow, but probably survive. So it's a bit past 3:15, and my objective for the day is to make it about 50 kilometers south of Coyhaique, which would then give me a shot at making it to the next town of Mañihuales, which would be about 100 kilometers tomorrow. That's if the road is paved the whole way, which is a pretty big if. But I wouldn't say things feel iffy. It didn't take too long for the road to become gravel. Let's see for how long. Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna marry myself some nice pavement. So this is Parque Coyhaique, or Coyhaique, and it is one of the parks where you can check out some glaciers in Patagonia. But I will not be entering because I've heard that the value, so what you pay versus what you get, or get to see rather, is not quite as awesome as some other glacier parks in Patagonia, so I will be holding off for now. And I really wouldn't have had enough food to go on a hike and make it to Mañihuales, which, according to the signs I've been seeing, is actually further than what I thought I saw in Maps.me, the app. According to the signs, it makes it seem like it's 170 kilometers from Coyhaique and not the 150 that I believed it was. So, got a bit of a challenge on my hands. But I think they'll let us peek inside a bit. Why do all good things have to end? Yep. Snapped my gear cord here for the back set of gears. So I can only go from the little wheel to the middle wheel to the big wheel. And it's on high gear in the back. Not an ideal situation. I do have a spare wire, but I've never actually changed it before, so I might give it a shot, or I might not. We shall see. So I've gone off the road early, found a camp spot so that I could take a shot at fixing my snapped gear wire. I figure there's probably not going to be a shop in Mañihuales, so I don't have much to lose but a little bit of time to try my hand at fixing this. So I've got the new wire in place, or mostly in place, but it seems like it's a nudge too short. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Good morning. So this morning I did not get up early, kind of stayed in bed lazy Sunday style, and that is because last night I looked at Maps.me, took a, I guess, more in-depth look, zoomed in more, and saw a town that I actually missed the first time. That's 60 kilometers south from here, where I will be able to eat and resupply, so I will not starve to death on this trip. And as far as my bike goes, so I removed all the electrical tape that I sillily tried to put on, and I also removed some parts here to make the wire fit into here, the shorter wire than I had before. So I'm not sure if this will work, and I'm really hoping that it won't damage the derailleur somehow. We'll see. A lot of climbing so far, but it's been rewarded. Never seen a peak like that before. also back on pavement. And I spoke to another cyclist, and apparently it's going to last this time. All the way to the bigger town of Coyhaique. Pretty happy about it. Almost there. And I'm here. It's a pretty tough 55 kilometers, and I'm starving. That beef, egg, and cheeseburger was one of the best meals I've had in a while. Probably because of how hungry I am. Also probably because of my simple culinary tastes. Let's find a place to sleep. It's a new day. Mañihuales. Almost a day later than expected. Better late than never. That was my second time in 3 days having merluza, which I'm assuming is, or hoping at least, that it's some kind of local fish here. White meat, pretty good when fried. If not, you can always put a little lemon juice on it. Pretty good stuff. I found that the towns are usually kind of strategically located in areas where the mountains are especially pretty. Excited for what lies ahead. Pretty spectacular shapes that you won't see anywhere else. So it's 7:23 now. I'm about maybe 30-35 kilometers out of the bigger town slash city of Coyhaique. Wasn't planning on going this far, but haven't really seen any good camping spots that were, aside from the ones that were just outside of Mañihuales, nothing but barbed wire everywhere. Last minute find. Not perfect, but it will do. So not the sunniest day in Chilean Patagonia today, but I only have 30 kilometers to go, more or less, to the city of Coyhaique, where I'll be taking a half day off the bike. Before Patagonia, I had been working hard to produce and stockpile videos, have them all scheduled to publish, so that I could do the kind of extended no accommodations run of camping, which I've really enjoyed here in Chilean Patagonia. Finding camp spots was not always easy, but doable. least free camping spots. And I'm pretty due for some laundry. As well as doing a video call with the family. So, looking forward to doing all that stuff. But I still have a little bit of ride to enjoy before that. Pretty atmospheric. No matter the weather, Patagonia does not disappoint. Massive rock wall right there. This is my cozy room. With window that I managed to get after a little bit of hunting. It's one night for 15,000 pesos, or 2 nights for 25. And I bet if you wanted another, you could probably get it for another 10,000. Which is a pretty good price for a room in the Patagonia region. It's technically a hospedaje, but it's more of a guest house in this nice lady's room. And it is right in front of a bike shop. Pretty convenient. Learning how to properly install the wire, because I'm pretty sure it will break sometime again in the future. But next time, maybe I will be better equipped. Good friendly Chilean service, and I even got my tie wraps done. Perfect for gravel roads. And I got some information on a better route than what I was originally going to do. I was originally actually planning to head straight into Argentina next, but now I will be continuing south, doing more time in the paradise that is Chilean Patagonia, starting tomorrow. Big day planned for today. The idea is to get to Puerto Ibanez, which I believe is pronounced Ibanez, which is 115 kilometers away southeast of here. And I would really like to make it that distance because tomorrow morning there is a ferry from that port that I would like to catch, which goes across a lake to the town of Chile, Chico. So in order to catch that ferry at 8 AM,
I would pretty much have to be right there, ready to board in the morning. But I've heard that it is not a flat ride to get there, so it will be a tough 1:15, and I'm not really leaving early. Yesterday morning I brought my laundry, assuming that it would be ready this morning. They're running a little bit late, so I'll be leaving a little bit after 11.
Got my clothes back an hour 45 after it was promised, which was a little upsetting because that whole time waiting I was just sitting there really caffeinated and ready to go. I just had to kind of pace around in the lobby waiting for my clothes, which isn't the greatest, but had a day off yesterday, so hopefully I can pull off a superhuman effort today. And I got a flat. Always seems to happen on the days where it really needs to not happen. Better get to it. So what happened with my tire was that I had an inner tube which was already patched, and it actually lasted a while, so long that when it came time to put the tire back on, I put it on backwards and I didn't properly set it in, so I have a bit of a bump in the rotation and the tire is backwards, so it's probably getting used up a little bit more and I'm probably going a little bit slower. That combined with some pretty heavy headwinds that I had earlier, so heavy that I had to pedal going downhill, and they're frigid cold as well, so I don't think I'm doing very well on time. I think it's like 5 o'clock and I haven't even reached the fork in the road that's where you would go to Puerto Ibanez instead of turning to via Cerro Castillo, which is a famous mountain that I think I already peaked at, but hopefully we'll be able to get some more looks at it coming up here. Although the lighting is not perfect, this is Cerro Castillo, which means Castle Mountain. We'll get some more views later on, hopefully with a little bit better lighting. It's been a long downhill section, which is helping my chances here of making it to Puerto Ibanez, although it is very cold going downhill. So, good news, made it to Puerto Ibanez before dark. Bad news, another puncture. puncture right before the finish line. I heard it pop, and I did see something in my wheel, so I got some kind of nail or something. So, but looks like I'll be able to walk into town and find myself a campsite or something. So I decided to treat myself. Kind of a tough day, and I'll be getting up early tomorrow. This was a decent deal, 18,000, including a full breakfast with eggs and coffee and bread. So that'll be convenient, and the lady will prepare it at a time just before the boat goes. So this will be quite easier than setting up a tent in this cold, windy, dark weather. And I won't have to get up early and pack it all together before the boat tomorrow. So, worth the expense, I believe. Boat trip in northern Chilean Patagonia. One last look at Cerro Castillo. So we've just about crossed the lake to the town of Chico, which will be the last town I will be seeing in northern Chilean Patagonia, because after that I will be crossing the border into Argentina. So it's been 2 weeks, 800 kilometers, and a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So, like I mentioned, next I'll be going into Argentina doing the famous Ruta 40. And I just met a new friend, Chloe, from France. So maybe for the first time on the trip, I'll be doing a little bit of riding with a friend, so that could be interesting. And yeah, so this is one of these segments in my long journey bicycling from Canada all the way down here to Patagonia. If you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do on my journey, that is available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. And if you'd like to continue to follow the adventure, you can do so by subscribing to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button below the video. All right, that's gonna do it. Have a good one.